the wild, anything can happen. All sorts of species cross paths, and when they do, they either clash or go their own way. How would a moray eel react when seeing a shark? What happens when a kangaroo meets an emu? If you want to find out about these and more, it's time to watch as we count down 15 epic animal battles. Number 15. Crocodile vs. Hippo. Fights between hippos and crocodiles are epic. Crocodiles typically weigh 1 ton, while hippos can weigh up to 2 tons. A carnivore overall does not want to eat a prey its own size, preferring to eat something larger. Although the crocodile is a powerful bite, the hippo can easily crush it with its mouth, penetrating and grinding it. In the meantime, a hippo is large enough that nothing other than an elephant or a pride of lions can kill it. For a single crocodile to consider attacking a hippo is a large endeavor. It's usually the hippos that chase the crocodiles who don't seem to want to have to deal with the hippo beasts. However, in this next clip, these crocodiles are feeding on a dead hippo. It makes it much easier that way. Did they kill the hippo, or are they just eating a hippo that was already dead? Next, this huge crocodile has killed a hippo calf and is swimming with it in its mouth, and begins swallowing it a little further down the stream where there are less spectators. I guess it wants to eat its dinner in peace. This next confrontation gives the hippo the edge since it takes place on land. The hippo maneuvers around the reptile but doesn't know if it should bite or kiss it. Finally, this crocodile tears this hippo calf to shreds by twisting and spinning it. At least the hippo is dead during the process. Number 14. Cheetah vs. Wildebeest. The cheetah is not a big cat, but it's extremely fast, so the challenge for this speedster is to not catch its prey, but to be able to bring it down, especially considering cheetahs hunt alone most of the time. In this video, which takes place during the Great Wildebeest Migration, 2 male cheetahs hunt a wildebeest. After killing one of the hundreds of wildebeest, one of the cheetahs rejoins his friend. They eat their dinner together. In this next video, this cheetah corners a young wildebeest, and although the wildebeest tries to get itself out of the grip of the cat, it doesn't work, and the cheetah is able to finish off its prey and feast on it. Next, these 2 cheetahs are enjoying their lunch when a curious wildebeest looks at them from afar. The second, one of the cheetahs sees the wildebeest, it abandons its lunch and chases the onlooking wildebeest. You can see the speed of the cat as it catches up to the wildebeest in no time. The acceleration is insane. These 2 cheetahs have taken care of lunch and dinner. This next clip is not easy to watch. A mother cheetah brought back this young wildebeest for her 4 cubs to practice on. And since the cubs are just beginning to learn the ropes, they are toying with the wildebeest without really knowing what to do. Meanwhile, the mother does not interfere, so this will be a long and painful death for the wildebeest calf. This cheetah kills a wildebeest and drags it near a vehicle. It takes a lot of power for a small cat like the cheetah to drag a fairly large animal like this wildebeest. Finally, sometimes, when the wildebeest is big enough, it will turn the table on the cheetah and chase it just like in this video. This wildebeest will not be intimidated. Number 13. Penguin vs. Squaw. At first glance, squaws in Antarctica may appear to be nothing more than darker feathered seagulls. However, appearances can be deceiving. Squaws are one of Antarctica's most dangerous avian predators. Adult squaws consume penguins, preying on their young and taking adults occasionally. In this first video, you can see how the squaw bites on this nesting penguin's rear ends until the penguin lifts itself up. A great opportunity to snatch the birds and swallow them whole, which is what it does. Squaws often attack from up above, as you can see in this video, but the adult penguins challenge the squaws to protect their young, so the squaws aren't always successful. In this video, on New Zealand's sub-Antarctic Campbell Island, a brown squaw outmaneuvers an incubating female eastern rockhopper penguin and snatches one of her 2 eggs. Squaws often look for baby penguins alone, as you can see in this footage, and sometimes the penguins back up and sometimes they challenge the squaw. Unfortunately, in this video, this squaw is eating this penguin alive and none of the other penguins are helping out. I guess this penguin has no family left. Finally, this mother penguin is having a discussion with these 2 squaws. They're offering her money to take her chick, but the mother penguin tells them she doesn't want to sell off the youngster. The squaws look at one another, puzzled. Number 12. Moray eel vs. shark. Sharks are feared predators, but they aren't always on the top of the food chain. In our first video, a huge moray eel turns the table on a lone white-tipped shark that strays within striking distance. The moray eel has an exceptionally large and powerful jaw. The eel has to bite on the shark's head first to be successful. As it is doing that, the shark almost gets away, but the eel is able to grab it by the head and maneuver so the shark's head is inside the mouth. In this next video, the story is quite different. Another white-tipped shark gets into a scuffle with a much smaller moray eel this time, and the shark pulls the eel out of its hiding place and drags it into the water. You can see the eel striking the shark to defend itself, but the shark continues swimming and holding onto the eel in its mouth. More sharks join in the feast when they sense some food is around for the taking. Finally, this moray eel is chopped in half by this shark. You can see one of the divers holding half the eel's body in his hand. It seems like the size of the moray eel decides on the outcome of a fight with the shark. If the eel is fairly larger than the shark, it will swallow it, but if it's smaller, it doesn't have much of a chance to survive. Number 11. Crow versus owl. If they come across an owl in the open, crows will harass, peck, annoy, and mob it, occasionally to death. A flock of irate cows would brutalize and occasionally kill a roosting owl encountered during a day. Owls have feathers designed to be quiet in flight, despite having strong hooked claws and meat-tearing beaks to enable them in homing in on food, live prey. However, they rarely attack crows. In our first video, 2 crows corner and harass an owl in an alley. Apparently, the crows heard rumors the owl was selling in the crow's territory. The owl denied everything, but the crows didn't believe it. This murder of crows terrifies this owl, which can't do much and is unable to take off because there are too many crows. The crows don't try to bite the owl, but they definitely lunge at it. Watch this attempted air attack by the crow on a great horned owl in slow motion. The owl manages to repel the attack. Next, these crows are asking this owl if it wants to come out and play, but the owl doesn't trust them and remains on the windowsill. The crows aren't being aggressive, but the owl thinks it's just an act to lure it. Next, this snowy owl and this raven are discussing the effects of human disturbance on their habitats, and they seem to have the same opinion. Humans are destructive. This owl is swinging its body from side to side, getting the attention of a few crows that come and pay it a visit. After the crows check out what is happening, they don't find anything interesting and take off. Finally, the snowy owl and the raven meet again to hang out. Number 10. Buffalo versus crocodile. When a buffalo herd is threatened by a predator, the herd forms a circle around their young. In order to disguise the vulnerable, all of the grown-ups look outward. Adults actually drop their heads and use their horns to create a protective barrier. Our thumbnail shows a crocodile trying to touch its toes as it is thrown into the air by this Cape buffalo. I guess the crocodile wanted to impress the buffaloes when he heard they were scouting for the next high diving competition. You can see in this video a crocodile being mistreated by these buffaloes. Watch this crocodile pop out of the water and grab a buffalo by the neck, but the moment some of the other members of the herd are about to strike the crocodile, it returns into the water empty-handed. It's one thing for a crocodile to jump out of the water to snatch an antelope, but it's a whole other thing to try and snatch a massive buffalo that weighs almost 2,000 pounds. And that's why this croc jumps out of the water and gets absolutely zilch. In this video, the crocodile is able to clamp on this buffalo's leg, before another buffalo helps out and sends the crocodile flying into the air. Finally, sometimes crocodiles manage to kill smaller buffaloes like in this video, and all the other buffalo don't do a thing about it. I really don't understand the Cape buffalo. Sometimes they help out their friends and destroy predators like crocodiles and lions, and sometimes they look at the birds and seem to be totally clueless about what's going on right in front of them. Number 9. Weasel. Weasels can be found in a variety of environments, including grasslands, sand dunes, lowland woods, upland moors, and even cities. The mongoose is a form of weasel that belongs to the mustelid family. In this video, the mongoose is lightning fast and has razor-sharp fangs. With just one bite, this black mamba can kill 15 mature men. Which of these two mortal foes will emerge victorious? Mongooses and snakes are each other's most dangerous adversaries. When they fight, the result is completely unpredictable. Next, a family was camping in the Colorado Rockies when they noticed this weasel pursuing a marmot into their campsite. Until the weasel came in for the kill, they thought they were simply playing. They were awestruck by the sight of Mother Nature in action. Watch this weasel destroy a rat much bigger than itself. How resilient are these weasels? Finally, this weasel is attacking a seagull in the water. How crazy is that? The seagull can't even take off. Perhaps it's injured, but the weasel chases the seagull in the water by swimming after it and then climbing on its back. This fight can go either way, and I don't know if it's the weasel or the seagull that's trying to drown the other. The fight ends in a stalemate, but I'm not sure if the seagull is able to fly out of there. Number 8. Pelican versus seagull. They're obnoxious, greedy, invading, polluting, and combative. They devour anything that moves, as well as a variety of non-moving objects. You can hate them all you want, but seagulls are 100% badass. Check out this seagull fight it out with not one, not two, but 3 pelicans for a measly little fish. The pelican is slightly bigger than the seagull, but its beak is much larger, and at one point, the pelican's brute force gives it the strength to pull the seagull towards it, and the other 2 pelicans charge the seagull as well, making the seagull abandon the fight and concede victory to the pelicans. Whenever pelicans go on the hunt for fish, you can bet your money that seagulls are not too far away. Check out this pelican, trying to fish in peace, when a bunch of seagulls jump it so they can steal its catch. This is a full-scale aerial attack, and I think this pelican is overwhelmed. Next, a seagull rides on the back of a pelican looking for fish, attempting to safeguard its territory's fishing rights, but it fails miserably. Finally, this pelican tries to avoid aerial attacks from a few seagulls. No bombs are dropped, but the seagulls are warning the big-mouthed bird. Number 7. Rooster versus turkey. Turkeys are much bigger than roosters, but the mighty rooster is no pushover. In this first video, you can see this rooster stand up to this turkey, and after the initial scuffle, the two calm down and the anger dissipates. In our next clip, these turkeys gang up on one rooster and fight. One of the turkeys tries to stomp the rooster, although it looks like a tarantula than a fight. Next, this giant turkey takes on a young rooster, and the rooster doesn't back down. It's pretty much a stalemate. Our next fight is more intense, and the birds go at it for quite a while, but that doesn't change the fact that there is no clear winner. In this next video, this turkey tells this rooster that it found its alcohol stash in the barn and will tell their handler if the rooster doesn't share. The rooster freaks out and tries to poke the turkey, threatening it to never come close to its stash again or risk a serious reprisal. Finally, it seems to always be the turkeys ganging up on the roosters, and this rooster will have a headache after this brawl with all these turkeys pecking on his head. Number 6. Birds of prey versus seagull. Seagulls, like most birds, are scared of their natural predators. Birds of prey such as owls and eagles are the natural predators of seagulls. As a result, they don't stay around when they see one of these birds. In our first video, this eagle captures a seagull on the fly, and it seems to be easy breezy. No wonder seagulls are afraid of eagles. The next onslaught took place in less than 2 minutes. The goal was on the ground, and the marsh harrier was watching from atop the tree, but it couldn't tell where the goal was. It then dropped down on the bird with its talons outstretched in a fraction of a second. The goal barely had time to move, while the harrier was already plucking its feathers. Then, a greater spotted eagle appeared, and it's unclear what happened next, but the eagle and the seagull left the scene, and the harrier was nowhere to be seen. Next, this eagle soars above water, and when it spots a seagull on the water, it parachutes itself down and grabs the eagle on the fly. Eagles seem to prefer grabbing seagulls that are on the water or almost touching the water. I guess it's because they are easier to catch since they are almost still. This eagle chases a seagull over a golf course, and the golfers forget their game momentarily to watch this extraordinary bird in action. Finally, another seagull bites the dust as this eagle grabs it and flies away in Port Townsend. Number 5. Kangaroo versus emu. Emus are not normally aggressive birds unless they must establish a pecking order with other birds. But this emu is bullying these kangaroos for no apparent reason, and not one of the kangaroos answers back. Next, these two emus chase this kangaroo inside an enclosure. If they don't get along, why are they in the same enclosure? Finally, this kangaroo just wanted to have fun with a branch, but the second it touched the branch, it triggered a weird kind of emu dance, with the emus looking like they were tribal warlords sacrificing an animal. It's actually kind of funny to look at the move this way. Number 4. Anteater. If at all possible, giant anteaters will avoid danger. If they need to defend themselves, they will rear up and utilize their strong claws while stabilizing themselves with their huge tails. It's also hard not to conceive that a colossal anteater could kill a jaguar. When attacked, an adult gigantic anteater can weigh over 90 pounds, around the size of a young female jaguar, and will fight back. You can see it in this video when this anteater doesn't scare off when it meets a jaguar. It fights back and the jaguar walks away. Next, this anteater has its back turned to the jaguar, and for some reason, the big cat just stares at the anteater. I think it just can't over the size of the anteater's nose. Maybe the jaguar just watched the anteater, but this horse doesn't waste 1 second and kicks the anteater in the stomach when it approaches too closely, flipping it over in the process. The anteater is okay and gets back up, but it learned its lesson. Finally, this anteater chases this dog away when the dog trespasses the line of tolerance established by the anteater. Number 3. Badger versus fox. The American badger is a fossorial carnivore, which means it digs or scouts for dens underground to hunt its food. Even though foxes are not their primary food source, they have been known to take a fox cub when given the opportunity. If given the option, foxes will not fight a badger. They are simply too fierce and tough to be defeated by a fox. When a badger gets into a fox nest and the parents defend the kits, or when a badger tries to steal the fox's kill, fighting can occur. That's funny, because in this clip, this fox is actually the one attacking the badger's den. The badger immediately charges the fox, and the fox retreats momentarily but continues its attack. And this badger must be on a diet of Hostess Twinkies, because it is one fat badger. Next, a badger steals some dog food, and when a fox tries to do the same, the badger almost tears it to pieces, but the fox manages to escape. These foxes find a badger inside their den and attack it. The badger is chased away by the foxes, but it returns for more, and the foxes hold their ground. In this next video, a persistent fox pesters a stubborn badger for some peanuts. It's kind of funny how the fox lightly bites the badger instead of jumping on it with a full-fledged attack. I guess the fox understands the risks involved. Finally, our next culprits seem to get along and share the same space without arguing or fighting, which is cool. At least some foxes and badgers seem to get along. Number 2. Shark versus octopus. We witness many more animal battles that take place on the ground than underwater, because it's easier to get the footage. That doesn't mean nothing is happening in the depths of the ocean. What do you think happens when a giant octopus meets a shark? Watch how this octopus latches onto the shark with its tentacles and doesn't let go. The shark is in trouble, and how will it escape from the grasp of this octopus? I think the octopus wins this one. Of course, it all depends on the size of the shark. Don't forget that an octopus can also release ink from its siphons, so it confuses predators and it gives the octopus time to escape. I'm pretty sure a great white shark or a bull shark could take on an octopus, but small sharks would have a hard time. While octopi prefer to eat prey that is smaller than themselves, they may use their strength to defeat larger opponents such as sharks. A giant Pacific octopus was filmed killing a shark a few years ago at the Seattle Aquarium. You can see this giant octopus wrap its tentacles around the shark and keep hold on the shark. These shark versus octopus battles seem to have the bigger creature get the upper hand all the time. When the shark is bigger, it just mutilates the smaller octopus. When the octopus is larger than the shark like in this clip, it does not look like the shark has much of a chance of winning. Number 1. Squirrel versus snake. Snakes love to eat baby ground squirrels, especially those that are only a few months old. Adult ground squirrels are frequently resistant to snake venom, thus snakes avoid them. In this first video, a Cape ground squirrel goes up against a Cape cobra, determined to keep the snake away from a nearby burrow. It's amazing how the squirrel is able to fend off the snake without doing much. Next, this battle lasts an awfully long time, and the squirrel is giving the snake a run for its money. The match ends in a tie. When snakes and squirrels square off, the outcome is unpredictable, and it can go either way, as you can see in this footage. Everyone talks about the mongoose being a snake killer, but watch how this squirrel chews into the snake's tail to soften it up. Squirrels may not be mongooses, but they're darn good nonetheless. In this video, you can see a close-up of a squirrel chewing on a snake's skin, and the snake isn't able to retaliate for some reason. What I find interesting is that the squirrels are not afraid of snakes at all. We have seen some epic battles between different species of animals, but my favorite has to be the anteater and the way it repelled the jaguar. Which one was your favorite? Why don't you let us know in the comments below? Well, that's our countdown of 15 epic animal battles. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and let us know in the comments what you think. Check out our other videos and subscribe to be part of the fun. Click on the notification icon so you can see our new videos as soon as they're uploaded. That's it for now.